So we are here, today's date is Thursday, May 12th. We are here for the interview for the vacant budget committee, the Sanborn District Budget Committee seat for Kingston. And our first and only interview is Ken McNulty. So Ken, I want to thank you for taking your time out and interviewing with us tonight and, you know, just spending the time and dedicating your time for this. So we appreciate it.
No problem.
We figured we would start with, if you just want to give a quick introduction of yourself, and then sort of go around and ask some questions. And then at the very end, we'll see if you have any follow-up questions and then, and that should wrap it up.
Sure thing. I apologize for, I guess, not being a little more prepared. I've been sick since Saturday and just kind of, I'm coming out of it from last night. So I tried to do a little bit of prep this afternoon, but not as much as I would usually like to do. I'm a Kingston resident. I have been for 17 years now. Both of my children are enrolled at Sanborn. I have a middle schooler and a high schooler. By day, I'm in the engineering industry. I have a bachelor's in mechanical engineering. I'm really just looking to participate and do what I can to help out. There's not really much else to say other than I appreciate the opportunity.
Great, thank you. So we'll let Courtney kick off the questions.
All right. Ken, thank you again for taking the time. First question, would you mind summarizing your interest and involvement in the Sanborn Regional School District and why you're interested in the position?
Well, I guess I'm interested in the school district in a lot of ways as a taxpayer, but also as a, a parent of students in the school district. Relative to this position, it feels like something that I can step in and do. I see school board members and the requirement for their time, and I don't know if that really fits with, the requirements of someone with my daytime job. So jumping in at the BudCom level with a little bit less of a commitment, I figure this is something I can give back and just kind of chip in any way I can.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, how involved are you, or how aware are you of what's going on within our district right now, and any challenges or, hurdles that we're experiencing in the next coming year?
Well, I'd say I'm very aware of what's going on. I've generally followed more, I guess, school board and school board subcommittees than I have the budget committee. I've watched probably 85% of school board and most most subcommittee meetings over the last handful of years. I've watched probably a third to half of the budget committee meetings. So I would say I'm more well-versed on the school board side just for what's going on. But I have been following on the BudCom side too.
Okay, thank you.
I lost my question. My name is Ken. Nice to meet you.
You have a great name.
And I guess one of my questions was, what are your expectations of the school budget over the next 3 years? Do you think it's going to be larger, smaller, or pretty much remain the same?
I'm sorry, did you say the size of the school board?
Yeah, what do you see? What do you think the school budget's going to look like over the next 3 years? It's going to be larger, smaller, or stay the same?
I guess I'd have to really dig in to see what fat is left to take out. I know that we've been operating relatively bare bones the last handful of years. I know that there's, inflation and all that going on that I can't imagine we're going to be able to hire and buy things for the same price that we've had over the last handful of years. So it's hard to assume that we're going to be able to get the same pricing for the same thing. Unless things change on that end. I mean, I don't expect it to balloon up, but nobody expects that, I guess.
Thank you.
I'm up next. All right, so can you give us a quick summary on any related experience or qualifications, whether financial related or budget committee related?
Well, I have no municipal budgeting experience, but I am good at math. I have passed 3 levels of calculus. So at least I'm not horrible at math. I have a passion to, I guess, contribute. I like to offer something to the district. Again, I've been following along a lot for a handful of years now. Again, I'm not a professional auditor or any sort of anything like that, but like I said, I'm good at math and I have been following along. So
What is your opinion of the current budget that we just passed? And did you have any concerns or things that you would have done differently?
I would say for the budget that just passed, I did follow along. The one thing that I liked, I'm trying to remember if it was this one or the one before, but they kept referring it to Tom's Big Three. And they wanted to make sure they wanted to make sure that was factored in. And it was nice to see. There's always talk about educational needs, but it's nice to see some, and I know they weren't exactly wants, but it's nice to see some educational wants in there too. It's been a while, I think, since we've seen that, and we've basically been, here's what we need and that's it. And again, I still don't think that the big threes that were listed, I still think that they were needs, but at the same time, they were kind of wants, or as early as they're being done, I guess you could kind of consider them, not necessarily needs for this year. So, but it was nice to, I guess, kind of be ahead of the curve on that.
Thank you.
Do you understand the role of the school board versus the school budget committee? Do you understand the differences? Or what is your opinion of the differences, I guess would be the word?
Yeah, I think so. There's definitely some things on the BudCom that I probably would look to get clarified on my end. That was part of what I was going to be looking into the last handful of days. I mean, I'm pretty versed in what the role of the school board is. And I know obviously as a BudCom member, it's not your job to go in there and, change curriculum or do anything like that. We're just looking at the numbers. But I would say that you have to divorce a little bit what your desires are for the direction of the district on certain segments that aren't financially related.
Thank you.
Does have any other questions? Anything you want to ask?
I'm also.
No, that's not. There's one last thing that just sort of popped in my head, but do you have like a vision for our districts, like where you'd like to see us go? No, it's kind of a loaded question, but.
Yeah. And thank you for asking it, Vanessa. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're talking for students or for the community or whatever, I know that there's been lots of discussion about changing their curriculum. And just from what I've seen, it seems like a lot of the curriculum is almost too easy. From having a high schooler, there's just a lot of catch-up days built in, and then a lot of her kind of twiddling her thumbs, the last 2 weeks of the year, so other people can catch up. I'd like to see some semblance of rigor added to the school district. I don't know if that's a directional or just a personal. I know that's not really BudCom related, but.
Thank you. I do feel like, being involved in the district and understanding what's going on in a school board level does directly tie into the budget committee. We have to understand what the community's, trying to work towards, from all different levels. And then, we're essentially budgeting that. So I mean, I know that they're divorced in a way, but they do play into each other. You do have to be aware of what's going on and everything. So do you have any questions for us or anything about the budget committee per se?
I don't think I really have any at this time. I'm sure if I was to be picked, I'm going to have a whole load of procedural questions because again, I follow these meetings, but there's all sorts of you can't say this until this happens, and who votes when, and you can't discuss it until this. Some of the procedural stuff I'll have to kind of research on my end. Again, if I'm selected, but obviously they're not really questions for now. They'd be questions for if that were to happen.
You can rest assured, we have some depth in the committee. So all those procedural questions will be answered in quite clearly based on what I've seen so far. So
And in
that
the,
won't be an issue.
thank you. And in the last, I think it was the last BudCom meeting, I did notice that there was not exactly training that was mentioned, but there was some talks about getting together, and I think it was walking the facilities. And I don't know if it was procedural, but there was basically talk about some of the newer members being given some more instruction. So that would be good to take part in that too, again. if
Yeah.
selected.
Yeah, we were waiting till we fill this seat to actually sort of pull the trigger on a lot of that stuff. Because we do have some new members here too, and there is procedural stuff that, would be good for everybody to know, and, new and old, maybe a refresher for some of the more seasoned members as well. So that is certainly something we're going to be looking into. So, yeah, everybody will be included in that process. Great. Well, thank you, Ken. We appreciate your time.
All right.
We generally what we do is we deliberate. We'll deliberate, we'll take a vote, and then I'll reach out to you via email and just let you know what our determination is.
Okay. Thank you again.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Again.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So what do we do? We go off stream now, or we still stay on stream?
Unless there's something that you need to go into in a private, we can have a quick discussion, and then we can take a vote. So if there's any comments amongst us, any, questions or concerns or anything you guys want to dig into a little bit deeper.
I like him. I think he's done a lot of work to prepare himself.
Yeah.
He's interested in what we're doing. He's been following the school board, which is important, and following us to a degree. He seems interested in learning how to do it. So I'm in favor of it.
And I think he's prepared. I think that he's looked at the stuff, he has the information, he has the vested interest. If his kids are here, he lives here. I mean, I know that's part of the deal, but but he's here for the right reasons. And he's, like you said, he's done a lot of research, and I think a lot of it is just the willingness to learn and get into it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I like the fact that he had mentioned that he's probably watched more school board meetings than I have, and so I like that he's involved, because I do feel like they play into each other. You need to understand what's going on within the district in order to really kind of do our job effectively as a budget committee member. You have to understand the challenges and what they're trying to accomplish, and then it is obviously our role to make sure that we're supporting those accomplishments, financially, and we're coming up with the song budget. And there's going to be some things that, we'll critique and change, but that's our role, so it's nice to see that he's so heavily aware of what's going on, because I think it will help, in working with them.
And he
So
was easy to talk to, the conversation went well, and part of that is,
Ken, you
Getting
missed
through
his jokes.
I missed it.
You missed it. The bald, and then he goes, great name.
It's hearing is my,
So.
I gotta get my hearing aids tuned in.
So I don't know. I mean, I think I guess we could probably take a vote, and make a determination. So Courtney?
Yes.
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 Ken? Yes, I vote yes as well. So I will, I'll go ahead and reach out to Ken tonight. I'll let him know. And then I'll reach out to Phyllis. I'll let her know we're gonna put an announcement on the public page, and then I'll send an email to the other committee members as well. Those are the procedures that we came up with. So great. So I think that's it. I think that wraps up our meeting. Is there anything I'm missing? Nope. Any public comments? No, there is no public, so I think we're good. Excellent. So that's it. Meeting's concluded.